See, our generation is not rejecting God. Our generation is rejecting the middleman,
Right.
the middleman
Yeah,
who is
they
in
should.
between,
They should.
the God and us.
Yeah.
So, what makes you different? What is the difference between you and the other people who are like putting themselves out between us and the divine? What is the difference?
Well, it's simply my level of consciousness, right? I've had my own journey. I've evolved my consciousness through my guru's blessings and nurturing. So I had a direct connection, right? So I was able to facilitate and speed up my process faster than most people because of my connection to my guru, right? He helped facilitate, speed up that. But I would also say on top of that, what really makes us a better conductor for this energy, this applies to everybody, right, is something called the divine principles and fundamentals. Right. It's what maintains your purity and your innocence. That's what makes you a better conductor for this energy. Okay. Right. You become a superconductor the more innocent and pure you are. I like to say I led my life with God as my goal and God as my love. So for me, I felt like my life began with that purity and I was able to maintain it and hold it, which is why my evolution happened so quickly. Right. I kind of had that background, that substrate already set for me. But other people who maybe are not like that, right? There's a certain teaching that we like to say where, again, I'm talking about there's something absolute that exists beyond us, right? And so there's a certain set of rules in place, you could say, or laws, or just way and order in which the world works. There's a divine order that operates and governs our existence, right? There are ways that we conduct ourselves in our lives that works for our evolution or against it. Right? There are certain ways that we behave, certain thoughts we think, certain people we have around us, certain circumstances, right? Thoughts, behaviors, feelings, all of these things, right? That come from lower levels of consciousness. You see things like hypocrisy, betrayal, dishonesty, selfishness, those kinds of qualities. Those are embodiments. Those are reflections, emanations of lower states of consciousness. Now, what happens from that lower state, right? If you're evolving yourself, if you're getting these blessings, for example, right, you're going to evolve into higher states of consciousness, you will naturally reflect without having to force yourself, right, to embody or reflect these changes. You will become more empathetic. You'll become more compassionate. But if you already have those characters within you, then naturally you become like a superconductor. No. I like to give an example of an iron bar versus a magnetic iron bar. You have an iron bar, the atoms are haphazard, they're everywhere, right? That's what makes up an iron bar. What makes a magnetic iron bar magnetic is that the atoms within the molecules, they're very much in discipline with each other. They're aligned. What are they aligned with? They're not aligned with the iron bar. They're aligned with magnetic energy. A magnetic iron bar doesn't produce magnetic energy, doesn't generate it, it harnesses it. So magnetic iron bar, when these atoms are aligned, they allow these channels or these pathways for this magnetic energy to flow through it, and it creates this field of magnetism. In the same way, if we discipline ourselves with the fundamentals of life, basically this is the implementation of higher consciousness in action. It's the implementation. It's how consciousness is reflected from higher states, which is sacrifice, caring, empathy. When we embody these characters and we implement them in our lives, we are working towards our evolution. When you embody those poor characters, you make those bad decisions, you think those bad thoughts, you have those bad relationships, right? You're actually working against your evolution. You're working against the same program and function that consciousness has, because consciousness, its whole purpose is to organize and evolve. And we're working against the very system that organizes and evolves us when we're participating in those kinds of activities in our life. And sometimes it's not even like a bad intention, right? The intention is good, but the way you conduct ourselves, there are ways that that make us feel more energized, that give us more energy, or make us feel disconnected, make us feel like we've lost something. Yeah. So I mean, that's part of what we nurture here too, is like how you can evolve yourself faster with this energy, but also how you can sustain that connection, right? Make it permanent.